Sega. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes!
Yo-Kai Watch Puni Puni.
Puni players and score attackers. Robbett here. It's been a little while since I did a score attack video, but I'm going to try and make this one a little different. We have a new big boss in Chronomen, and we have special bonuses from the Fukurokuju event. Rather than trying to get one amazing score, however, I'm going to try and walk you through some strategies that hopefully you can use to climb the leaderboard. First things first, it's all about those tribe restrictions. This week, Chronomen can be battled with Brave, Tough, Heartful, and Eerie. That means that everyone's favorite Tracer Kurokoma is out, as is Slurpent. Time to get creative. As I see it, there are really three main strategies we can employ. A single attacker flood, an inflator flood with Arachnus Awoken, or a Fukurokuju Tracer run. Let's get to it. First up, we'll try out an all-Heartful team. We've gotten some very nice SS rank Heartful boosters lately, and of course we've got Elder Bloom and Unikirin. The best Heartful single attackers, My Melody SS from the Sanrio event. That being said, there are a lot of options in the single attacker realm. Puni has a ton of amazing single attackers. I'm trying to figure out the rough scope of a run here, so I'm going to do a single flood and get off 4 ultimates to see what we can get. When you're attempting a single attacker flood with no inflator, you're going to want to aim for 6 to 8 attacking ultimates, but obviously that'll vary based on your ability. 4 My Melody SS attacks equates to around 220,000 damage with these boosters. That's about 25 million score after Elder Bloom's boost. Since Chronomen is of the Slippery tribe, he's weak to Brave and Tough attacks. For the fun of it, let's switch to an all-Brave team, with the exception of Elder Bloom, and see how much of a change that is. I'm going to do the same 4 attacking ultimates here so we have a fair comparison. In addition to doing more attacking ultimates during the flood to improve your score, you may also want to try a double fever run. Likely you'll have to take some shortcuts, but if you can get off even 10 attacking ultimates across both fevers, that's still going to be great. Note that I have 2 score boosters here and 2 attack boosters, as Brave has less good attack boosters than Heartful now. That won't impact the end score, but the damage is going to be less. Yatsuzaki is a deadly new single attacker from a recent score attack, and he piles up 169,000 damage. That's 28 million score before the 10% bonus, and that's with weaker attack boosters. If you end up using a Brave single attacker, you may want to try different combinations of non-Brave attack boosters. Next, let's move to our only real inflation option this week, Arachnus Awoken. Arachnus Awoken is clearly the best traditional inflator, but compared to Slurpent, he's simply not viable. The issue comes from the fact that he, when maxed, inflates 2 Puni to size 10 to 12. This means that even if you get lucky, you still have to do a little linking. I'll be the first to admit, I simply don't Arachnus flood. As such, I'm going to totally fat finger this. If you're going to Arachnus flood, you need to leave enough room to not get into fever while doing the final link-ups. You also need to over-bias toward Arachnus in your flood, because if you inflate 2 attackers, you're sunk. Most importantly, however, since you're trading a booster for Arachnus Awoken, you're going to need to do at least 50% more attacking ultimates to break even, and that's hard to do. So you know what? Forget about this option. Some people out there can definitely pull it off, but it should be a last resort. That leaves us with Fukurokuju. Spoiler alert, if you've got Fuku and you know how to use him, he's going to be your best option. Like all score attack runs, the key is going to be how many times we can use Fuku, which is a little trickier because as a tracer, his attack will not fill his own soul meter. That means you can't flood him. You can do a preparatory Puni so that with some careful technique you can have another ultimate ready. One of the hazards of the new SS rank Heartful attack booster Neko Nisei is that a side effect of his ultimate is to inflate. This is a really cool ability, except that preparing a size 13 Puni for a second ultimate is built on the fact that as the Puni grows, it's immune to being popped, allowing you to trace over it. When Neko Nisei inflates, the Puni grows immediately. In this example, you can see I was lucky enough to run into that exact scenario. I'm showing it because it's possible to keep going carefully and still make it through. That being said, since I'm skirting the extreme edge of the board, I'm not getting as much damage as I'd like. Before the 10% bonus, that's 39 million score for a single fever and 2 Fukurokuju ultimates. Let's see what that's like if we don't hit the inflation and we can do a little better job of using the board around our preparatory puni. An alternate strategy you can use is to create 2 size 7 puni. It's a little trickier because while they're smaller you can use more of the board, but you also have 2 puni to avoid and need to link them up before you can use them. The good news is I personally believe managing 2 Fuku ultimates in Fever is easier than managing 2 Kirakomas ultimates due to the nature of straight line or slashing tracers. Your mileage may vary, but if you're willing, you're going to want to learn how to master this technique. This time it's 45 million, so that small change of not having to avoid the huge puni resulted in another 5 million, which is a big difference. The next progression in mastering a tracer and score attack is adding a second fever and at least an additional ultimate. I've cut to the chase and we're going into the first fever with 33 seconds to go. Just like last time, a preparatory Fuku Puni is growing in the corner while the first ultimate is used. If you're using Neko Nisei, one technique you can use is to harness that inflation to fill up some of your last ultimates with the inflated puni so that you can rush into fever faster. Fair warning, while Neko usually inflates in the lower center of the board, every once in a while he inflates elsewhere, which can really trip you up. We're back at 45 million score with 23 seconds to go. Obviously any time balls you can get will help here, but the main thing is not to be cautious about long link-ups. Usually you might shy away from really long link-ups for fear of getting into fever too quickly, but you're really up against the clock here, so it's better to push toward fever at any cost. I actually don't have 3 of my ultimates up by the time I hit fever, but I also do it right when time runs out and I've only got my continues left. It's the right trade-off. I pop a big Betty-san so I can use all my attack boosters and then I can worry about Elder Bloom and Fukurokuju. Keep in mind that tracers need to finish to score any points, so that means you need at least 4 seconds available to you. Double that if you want 2 ultimates. I'm able to get them all up and finish Fuku's ultimate with a second to spare. That adds another 28 million, or 73 million all up before bonus. While there are certainly crazier things to do, the penultimate accomplishment in Tracer score attack runs is 2 fevers and 4 Tracer ultimates. It's both the most worthwhile and most doable, although it's possible to go even farther. While it doesn't take blinding speed, speed is supremely important. You've got 80 seconds in total, counting the 10-second purchased add-on in both continues. Each fever takes 10 seconds, which leaves you with 60 seconds in all. That gives you 30 seconds to get into fever with all your ultimates up, considering you won't have time during fever, and to have a size 13 Tracer Puni ready. It sounds like a lot of time, but you'll find it goes by very quickly. We're right on schedule, and it's 2 ultimates in fever with a little over 31 seconds to go, although this time it's 44 million score. A long time ago I did a video called The Device Advantage and compared various devices for playing the game. At that time I found that there really wasn't an advantage between devices so long as it could capably run the game. That was before tracers, however, and I hate to break it to you Android users out there, and I'm one of you, but tracers score more on iOS. It's less noticeable with Fukurokuju, but there's a tiny bit of chunkiness even on high-end Android devices for Puni and Wibwab, and it translates to less tracer damage and a few precious seconds lost here and there. It's time to get back into fever with only a second to spare. In this case, my Elder Bloom isn't filled up, but that's really okay. Your priority always needs to be your attack boosters, then your attacker, then your score booster. So long as the score booster is activated before fever ends, the score boost will apply. Using the tracer is likely to get Elder Bloom up simply because so many Puni are popped in the process. The second fever and 2 Fuku ultimates ends up adding 38 million, so points were lost during the process, but still that takes us to 91 million after the bonus. Done perfectly, that 2 fever 4 Fuku run should yield 100 million with the purchased 10% bonus. But Robbett, my friend, what about the Koro bonuses? Yep, this week we've got a large, medium, and small bonus. Takao Kinomiya Awoken, Kirafuda Shobu S, and Obachama. First, let's do a single Fuku run as a base quickly so when we figure out the bonuses we can see the impact. While we're doing that, I want to explain the math behind this. The issue is that none of these bonus characters are boosters. You're going to have to swap out one of your boosters to place them on your team. Since attack boosters are additive and score boosters multiply the result, you want to have at least one attack booster and one score booster. Since tracers feed on Puni popping damage and combos, you want more attack boosters than score boosters. That means if you're using Fuku, I suggest 2 attack boosters, 1 score booster, your bonus character, and Fuku. The bonus that they provide is a multiplier after your score has been made. Looks like a single Fuku run is around 24 million. Now we'll do a run with Takao Kinomiya Awoken, replacing Unikirin given he's my weakest attack booster. Takao is pretty interesting. You have to move his Beyblade like a tracer, but he's got the damage output of Go 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 T-Dragon. He's sort of a super popper. Really fun to watch, disappointing damage. But keep in mind we're going to get the damage and the bonus. And wow, we've jumped up to 58 million because of his damage and a 140% bonus. Definitely worth using, although you won't get all of that damage if you're going to do 2 Fukurokujus per fever. You'll need to launch Takao and then cut his ultimate short by launching Fuku, but you'll still get around half of Takao's damage. Next, we'll try Kirafuda Shobu S with the medium bonus. Shobu is a single attacker, so he should be a good replacement depending on the bonus. Unfortunately, my Shobu is only at ultimate 2, although he is at max level 50, but he's not going to do a ton of damage. If your Shobu is max, you're going to get more out of him. You will get all of his damage though, given single attackers are effectively instant. You might even be able to get 2 of him off per fever if you're lucky. Unfortunately, it's pretty disappointing, only 20 million with a 50% bonus. The main problem with Shobu is that at 50% we're losing an attack booster which when maxed is at or above 100% damage boost, and we're not getting tremendous damage with him. He's an option only if he's high ultimate for you, and you don't have a better attack booster. Last is Obachama. And let me just speculate that Obo not gonna get it done. Obachama is a befriender, so his output is extremely useless here. Beyond that, since he's the smallest bonus, we already know he's going to be less than 50%. We'll speed up a little bit and yeah, 16 million and 20% bonus. Forget about him. I hope this gives you all the info you need to succeed in Score Attack, and I hope you enjoyed the video. For all the latest Puni Puni and Wibble Wobble information, subscribe to this YouTube channel and my Twitter. Until the next video, good luck with Score Attack.